So when we're talking about building systems, I want you to think about how life is consistently changing. Systems consistently switch, they shift, so to speak. And this shift can be conscious, unconscious, meaning that you can have the best intentions when building a system. Systems come in place when we're coming together. You have your own internal system, like your individual system. You have a system in relationships. You have a system in your religious groups. You have a system at school. The government has a system. Life is about systems. Nature has a system. There's ecosystem. The goal is to build a healthy ecosystem in everything that we do. So when it comes to systems, they shift over time. The goal is to be very aware of this and to be able to make change when necessary as we evolve, as things grow, right? How do we be aware of these things? You be aware of it through accountability and through evaluation. Awareness meaning become more alert of how your actions affect the greater good of yourself or others or the group or the mission, things like that. And when you're able to become aware of that, even if you have good intentions, and then take accountability for that, meaning you're responsible for your actions, that's what creates a healthy system. When we have people that are not able to take accountability or that missee certain data and deem it to still be right and maybe they change other things, but they missee that data and it continues to affect others without taking accountability, you're not able to create change, so you don't really grow. So in your individual system, you want to be able to create a ecosystem that holds yourself accountable for things. And you can do this by doing reflection practices. These are things that you do to help you get in tune with your inner self, understanding your mind and why you think certain ways. You will be real reflective about why you do things and why you think a certain way, why you react in certain ways, and to just become stronger. When we're coming together and creating communities, this is something that is supposed to empower you to be better. It's supposed to help you cultivate certain tools or give you the environment to help you cultivate certain tools to just guide and honor yourself and protect yourself and lead yourself and all those things. And just be an autonomous person that just contributes to life and experience life, and just a person that knows how to just take responsibility and is good for society, right? So one of the things that is real important when it comes to creating systems with groups, especially people like me that want to build communities, is that we hold each other accountable. Though no one should be above accountability, right? So sometimes people can do things with good intentions, and if we're not speaking up about it or saying anything about it, then that can lead into unhealthy systems, and then it becomes destructive then. So I think that our main goal and what we're seeing in this so-called community and everybody building, we want to just create certain close-knit communities that's doing things in a way that's more just in tune with the part of ourselves that's just human, like connection, joy, expansion, innovation, creation, things like that. Like those type of energies, we want to come together and just melt in it. I don't even know what words to bring to that. And what that looks like is not when I say melt, don't take it a different way, because I don't know, I guess some people are just skeptical about what is the goal with the spiritual, so to speak, community. And it's for lack of better words, conscious spiritual community, it's what's the goal? And I think at this basis it's a fundamental human desire, and if we can create those spaces that fills those desires that humans have fundamentally, that's nothing wrong with that, in a healthy manner, that can just change a lot of people's lives. And so at the end of the day, being able to never create an environment where we're not able to hold another person accountable for things, or we're not able to bring up how this may affect certain things, and then being very much intentional, because sometimes especially when we don't have other things like we've been seeing for the past decade or even so, to go off of to show us the wrong way to do things or how this can become unhealthy, we're not like, what are we going off of? So now that we have certain things, and many of us experience certain things that we can go off of, we have much more responsibility in what we're creating because we have more awareness. So in order to continue expansion, we have to have accountability on lock. That's accountability for ourselves and being able to hold accountability for others, and not being shamed, even if, speaking up, like, you should be able to speak up. We should always have environments where you can say something. And if you can't, then that's not the environment for you, though, at the end of the day. But and that's not to say that every environment that has that is going to become destructive, because at that moment there is still always certain things you can do to change the shift and change a system to shift in a better direction. And that's just by sitting down and checking the data, and it's not even just the spiritual community. It's a lot of businesses, capitalist businesses need to do this very same thing. And I'm not going to go into the people that I follow on that end when it comes to business and marketing and certain things like that. But I think the key is just being aware of yourself, your intentions and all that. And I'm not going to go over it again.